There we go. We are live. Hopefully everyone can see us. I mean, if you can confirm it with a little bit of delay, but it should be fine. That would be great, someone. Thanks everyone for joining today in another, let's say, YouTube Crystallize events, Crystallize live YouTube events. We have not named it yet. We should be doing that. Since this is the second one, we still haven't branded it properly. But yeah, we should be doing that. So thanks everyone for joining. Today I'm here with Håkon. Håkon, yes, from Crystallize. You know it from, of course, previous video as well. We had another chat here. So today we will be checking our way of doing things, which would be including event-driven architecture, right? So in orchestrating your web shop in an event-driven manner. So let's do that. Håkon, you want to go ahead? Welcome everyone, and stuff like that. I'll give a little bit of time.
So yeah, before we begin, let's just focus on your background, Stavros, because that's changed from the last time.
Oh yeah, so the background. So I was contacted by Coca-Cola in the previous video, and they told me, hey, we need a nice ad, and branded real nice. So go get tanned a little bit more, and come back. The summer edition of yourself. So, and lots of ice cream behind me. So there goes that. I had to change a little bit of background, make it a little bit more colorful, let's say, than the standard pink. So let's see if that turns out to be a new standard, like changing backgrounds in every video. So.
Well, it's a really nice change of color, I have to say.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Glad you like it. It's very, very summer Greekish, kind of.
Yeah, but it's going to be really sort of in brand for this short webinar. So today we will probably limit ourselves to around half an hour-ish, where we go really, deep in detail on event-driven e-commerce. And you being at where you currently are, like at a shop somewhere, it's really suitable because that's the example we're going to use today.
Yeah.
So,
beautiful. Cool. So let's start things off, I guess. So for the guys that have joined us and maybe are not really familiar with the term of event-driven programming or e-commerce, more specifically for this case, would you mind giving us a little bit of introduction on what that is and why is it a good approach rather than the traditional thing of that's people in your days? I'm not gonna say my days because I'm pretty young.
What are you playing? What are you implying, man?
Search fire right there. I can do it now because we're live. So what things were used to be a few years back, I guess. A few years back. I've corrected that if you've noticed. So.
Well, yeah. So yeah, that's probably a good start. So a traditional e-commerce, there's really no standard way of doing things, but
I bet
a lot of the e-commerce sites out there are big monoliths, and it's running on a traditional stack that we were all really familiar with. Essentially, it's a storefront and a database and behind, and whenever you change something, you obviously just update a database and the storefront updates, and that's pretty much it. And if you want to get some insights in what's happening, you have to pull for data. So usually the store is exposing an API, and you will pull regularly for updates. This is the typical way of doing things. There are some other alternatives out there, but the problem with this is that as you really don't have any external info on when things are happening. You basically just have to assume that it can happen at any time, and you just have to continuously pull. It's just kind of expensive for everybody. So the server is, that the backend's e-commerce server is getting a whole bunch of requests that it actually doesn't need. External services pulling for data, and the external services are doing a whole bunch of work they don't have to do because they needlessly pull for data when in reality, they're only interested in sort of monitoring when things change.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of the bigger problems that we wanted to solve at Crystallize, which is why we built Crystallize from the ground up, being an event-driven, scalable software as a service, which is perfectly suited for the Jamstack movement and all that. And the thing we're going to talk about today is the way you can sort of listen for internal events that's happening within Crystallize.
Yeah,
and do stuff in around. Yeah.
Awesome. So I know that today you have taken some time to prepare an example. I sort of have an idea of what that is. So I think it would be really cool to see firsthand, let's say.
Sure.
Here I should notice or tell everyone, mention that in the description, in the link, in the video link, you should be able to find a URL, which is a live deployment of the boilerplate that we talked about, and probably you're familiar with since you have been joining Crystallize. And in that specific version of the deployed boilerplates, you're having a live, let's say, a visual representation of what Håkon is changing or what Håkon is receiving, let's say. So Håkon, if you want, just tell them where you're going to be.
All right, yeah. So before we sort of show people the actual result of things, let's just, I'm going to show you guys a bit. We have a tenant set up in Crystallize. I should probably share my screen for that.
Yeah, you should do that. Clicking around doesn't help us.
Oh, yeah. You you probably should enable a screen sharing option for your guests.
Oh, no. That's my bad.
That's your bad, man.
Give me 1 second.
So for this exercise, we're gonna use the furniture tenant, which is the same tenant that you can use when you set up a regular Crystallize boilerplate. It's full of data. We got a bunch of products, and there's even orders in there. So we pre-populated the tenant with a set of orders that we can start playing with. And that's exactly the thing that I would like to demo for you guys right now. So this is the tenant. And if you have, let's say you have a bunch of customers and your customers are, they're placing a whole bunch of orders. Great for you. So they end up here in orders here, right? So now what? What do you do? What's the next step? So Crystallize, we don't want to make any assumptions on your business side.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a highly scalable order system that's sort of Black Friday ready that can take massive amounts of data. So the actual order intake is something that we make sure work. But once that order is in, it's basically up to you to take it further on. And that's why we made the fulfillment, like this cryptical menu item over here that I've got a bunch of questions on.
Yeah.
So let's try to explain what that is. Essentially, when you post an order to Crystallize, you can have it in one or actually zero, but in one or many pipelines. And pipelines are defined by you as the tenant admin. You set up different life cycles for your orders. And in this example right here, let's go with the in-store pickup pipeline. And as you can see, we already have a bunch of orders in here. And all of these orders are orders that exist also in the order tab, and then they also live here. If I quickly just go back to orders, you can also have a look to see here that this particular order right here, it belongs in 2 different pipelines. This is something you can manage. And it's in the in-store pickup as well as home delivery. So if I go back here in-store pickup, you can basically either programmatically move orders from one stage to the next.
So externally, basically, right? Externally,
exactly, from wherever you would like to, or you can manually move them around, like so. And this is all well and good. And this allows you, let's say if you're running a small shop and you just need to sort of manage the orders, right? You might even have other stages like this, and this is something you can completely customize. Then you can manage your orders here. So you get a new order here, you're starting packing it, you just move it here, so you got somewhere to store that. And once you're ready packing it, you just move it here. You can use this as a manual, like a way to support your manual process if you would like.
Yeah.
But if you have a bit more orders coming through, you probably want to have a service responding to these changes, right? Because you don't want to manually move things around. Or what, Stavros?
Yeah, I bet we need automation, right? Exactly. This is what all this talk is about, and yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, drag and dropping is nice, but clicking buttons is nice, but.
And this is where the another sort of mystical menu item come into play, and that is webhooks, with this really cool icon next to it. And webhooks is sort of your way as a developer or system admin to subscribe to events that happen within Crystallize. So in here, you can, let's just create a webhook now to listen for updates to the pipeline. So let's close the test webhook. So we want to listen for every time. Well, we can do order creation, but whenever a pipeline stage changes, like whenever that happens, you can decide to post it to Crystallize if you want. But essentially, like your API, right?
Yep.
Probably something like API webhooks.
Yeah. Handle
something.
Handle pipeline stage or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is like this is the base of it. You can just ping this URL and that's it. You can even add like header attributes if you have some kind of tokens you need to add for security. And you can specify the payload if you want a payload with this. So I can select getting order details here. That's the payload. And
it's typical GraphQL query, right? So
this is your typical GraphQL query. You can you can specify whatever you would like here. And this is where we kind of differ from other people, because many other systems out there just send you the ID of the order that has changed, right? Yeah. You want to give you a bit more than that. So you can basically do whatever you want in here. But let's wait a bit with that. I'm going to go to one that I created before here, because I know that works. So this
never test that live.
No,
never
exactly.
Test that live. Yeah.
So this is just posting whenever something changes in the pipeline. It posts to this URL, and just for visibility right now, we created the page that we've linked in the description, I think. This guy right here.
Yep.
Let me just reload. So if whoever's watching, everyone can open this, and whenever we change something in the pipeline, we should receive, and this is nice, live demos are nice. We should receive, let me just do this so you can see both, that you're getting a webhook in, which just means that the web server receives an HTTP request with a payload. That's it.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and see if it actually works live. in-store pickup. So the assumption is whenever I drop something here, very, very shortly we should see something here, which means like within, there we go.
Yeah, there we
just
go.
Now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what Crystallize sent. You're getting something here, a payload that gives you a bit of information about the order that it has changed the pipeline. You're getting all the pipelines that it's currently in. And we plan to add a bit more context to this later in time.
Yeah, of course.
But this essentially just gives you the entire thing that you specify in the webhook setup.
So yeah, in the GraphQL query that we mentioned earlier, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can be really nifty here, and I can sort of change a bit here.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have more stuff than this for orders. You can even do, if you want other stuff. Okay, you want the payment, right? We can get the type name of the payment just for fun. See how that works. So whenever we change something now, we should pretty soon see the payment provider as well. Let me just see. No, this was not it yet. Just give it a sec.
Yeah, of course.
It always takes a. Oh, I have to scroll. There we go.
Nice. You're scrolling down. Great job.
So now, I mean, this is really flexible for developers.
Yeah, right.
I've done multiple, countless integrations where I have webhooks, but I would have to sort of do another request on the backend side of things, on the receiving end of the webhooks, to get the additional information that I need.
Yeah. Well, either that or you typically, from my experience, so we've worked with a few systems, right? And you typically just, in those that you get webhooks, you receive some information back, or receive some information whenever something is changing, and it's like a huge load of things. And especially when developing, that you don't know what to pick. So I think, in my opinion, that's a pretty cool feature here. Right?
I agree. And you don't have to limit yourself to orders. In fact, you have the entire core API available right here. So you can do whatever you would like to do. You can get stuff from your tenant. You can get stuff from grids, items, whatever you would like to do. So,
exactly.
and this will be something that is going to be performant for you, because you don't have to do the extra requests. And also, it's going to be performant for us at Crystallize, because there's not going to be a whole bunch of extra requests coming back
of course.
to get that extra data.
Every 2 hours, 100 people requesting stuff.
Exactly.
That they don't probably.
So this is good for everybody.
Yeah.
So let me just real quick show you how that webhook looks like. Give me a short second here. I'm opening Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to show you what a typical webhook looks like. I've got one right here. As you can see, it's very sophisticated.
They're all beautiful.
Oh yeah, right. So this is pretty much all you need for a webhook. So this is what happens. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyways, if I were to do something more than just respond back to Crystallize with a small message, I could also, for instance, getting the actual data for the order, which would, and this is in Next.js. It looks pretty much like this. Getting the actual order, I'm basically destructuring the response object that you can see on the debug website we made.
So customer info,
yeah. And now the real interesting part is, like, what do? You got your pipelines for your order. Like, what do you do specifically, right? So, for instance, for the in-store pipeline, in-store pickup pipeline, you can get that information from the payload, and you can say, okay, if it's in the stage new, makes it a perfect place to ping the user. Hey, we received your order, right? Don't worry about it. We got it. we're ready at the shop, and once it's
any kind
it's
of cool
packing,
message, right?
yeah, exactly. And this is really simple to do as well. You can have as many pipelines as you would like, and they can have and sort of you decide all the actions that's going to happen. We don't assume anything of on behalf of your business. This is all up to you. So this is really, really simple, but sending emails is an obvious thing that you can do. Something else you could do. So in the ready here, yeah, they picked up. So we can add the additional one here. Like case, what's the last stage delivered? Right. And then maybe you do something like your payment. Better. And then you would capture the amount.
Yeah.
Right, or capture order, right? You got your order ID somewhere here. So this is the way you can sort of orchestrate order pipeline things. I mean, order things in general.
Yeah, and of course you don't limit yourself to only doing things that have to do with payment or notifying customer. You typically want automated notifications to a warehouse or wherever you're storing your goods, or things like that. Or yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you can do if it's not an in-store thing, if it's a warehouse, obviously you can tell the warehouse just to ship the thing here,
or whoever manages your I don't know, your stock.
However you choose to do it.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah, and this is exactly why we do not have like a warehouse integration thing in Crystallize, because it's probably something that belongs outside, but we make sure that you can listen to them, subscribe to them, and you react to them in your end. And we try to make that as simple and smooth and painless as we possibly can. And if you sort of stick with the boilerplate and you do and you stick with Next.js or similar technologies, these webhooks here are going to be fired on a serverless environment, which means you're never going to take down your server. Your front end lives independently of this. So that's not going to reduce any performance whatsoever, even though you're getting thousands requests like this every second.
Yeah,
that's okay. I mean, maybe your email provider will kneel at some point, but
not you.
Yeah, not
you.
Not Crystallize.
That's important.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's good. That's I think that's pretty valuable advice, I guess, especially with a new trend, with a Jamstack trend, let's say.
Yeah.
So
So there's also a bunch of other things you can do to activate things. I mean, if you're doing stuff like digital subscription, for instance, for like premium content somehow, this is like an obvious way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Once you reach a certain stage, you will claim the capture the order, and you would typically give access to content.
Yeah. So you
also,
of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this works just as well for physical as virtual products.
That's cool. Well, I mean, we've seen a few examples of that, right? So we've worked on that ourselves. So I remember we had actually a project doing that, and it was, I don't think we had the event-driven firing of webhooks back then, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, no,
so
sure.
Yeah, I don't think so. So it was, quite a bit of trouble to enable the user after that. So this would solve some issues back then.
Yeah.
And it's
I
think it's a really one of the reasons that we implemented that, because we've seen what that use case is and how valuable it is for people to have it as a tool in general.
Yeah. So and we will expand upon this. We kind of feel like this is the baseline for webhooks and whatever. I mean, you can expect us to make some adjustments or enhancements for this in the future, where we're going to include more context-aware data, stuff like, okay, which pipeline was it coming from? or stage in the pipeline it was coming from, and
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And you can also obviously create webhooks for other things than just order change, right? You can also do stuff like creations of items, products, documents, and folders. You can do when you create a new order, stuff like this. And there's also going to be other concerns we're going to add.
Yeah. So in general, you can build like so this is the cool part of having the headless approach as well coming in place, let's say. So you can listen to events and you can basically use that logic, the same logic would apply to create any kind of cool, let's say, application, meaning that, okay, you get the webhook, you send push notifications to your, for your users that have an app, basically. So, okay, do this, or here, this, that. So that's, it's what I was meant to say was that it actually, the only limit is here that what can you imagine doing with that, with this concept. So it's pretty cool that you can literally do anything. I mean, with any stage in the product or an order or whatever comes next in the future and Crystallize, whatever we release, you can build pretty much really cool stuff.
Yeah, and this is we want to sort of continue to be as flexible with our system as possible. It's going to be a lot more things we're going to add to support that generic use case, but we're always going to stay performant for this. We're always going to stay scalable.
Right.
And we would sort of want to enable everyone to build whatever they would like to do.
Exactly, right.
Yeah. It doesn't even have to be an e-commerce, we have to say, right? It can be.
That's why I say that you can build like a lot of different applications based on that. I mean, your content doesn't necessarily need to be a product per se. So you can be having content which would be something, I don't know, like a map or an event that is, whenever you create something, then you notify other users that something's changed. So
exactly, yeah.
You
can have a content service. Then you would have regular content, and you would have content blocked if you're not having a subscription for a service, right? So that is a way,
So notify like a new blog is out or something like that. Go check it out. So it's pretty cool in general. I mean, again, it's in your imagination to build basically whatever you want or can. That's really nice. That's really cool.
Cool.
One thing that I want to ask is like, since the whole Jamstack thing is running on Lambdas, right? So we've seen it ourselves that just because now we've shown in the code sample that you take in an order and you handle a lot of things all in one function eventually. Just more like a short note that with Lambdas we had this issue in the past of timing, right? So AWS especially gives you specific time threshold, let's say, where you can perform action. So I want to actually ask if there's like if it's a best practice or not to somehow split stuff rather than putting everything in one place, which is okay. It makes sort of sense some cases. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. So if you like have one webhook endpoint for everything, or if you split it by
something like that.
Yeah. I guess it's an architectural decision that you can have to make yourself.
Okay.
There is obviously sometimes a timeout concern. So if you have a Lambdas running for too long, that's going to cause an issue. But the good thing though on if it's a Crystallize webhook that you're receiving, if we do not receive a 200 OK back from you, we're going to retry that webhook. I don't remember our schedule for retrying, but we're going to keep retrying until the web server says it's fine. whatever endpoint you send to.
Exactly. Tell me that it's fine. No,
yeah.
send again. No, send again. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we get it that sometimes maybe you rely on external services that fail and all that, and then it's totally okay to let your webhook request fail and just let us know it fails, and we will retry. That data will not be lost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that would be a really cool thing, and I think it would be really nice now that that's a little bit out of the whole thing. But let's say that developers, when you develop, then you might want to test something on the spot. So it might be a cool. Now that's a general idea, of course, right? So something that I've been thinking for a bit, like, okay, I request this webhook to be sent again, like now, boop, and then something can be pushed there or something, which would be, I have seen that with payment providers. I'm coding and it's not working, so I don't need to retry a full round trip of doing stuff. Of course, if it's a pipeline stage, then okay, you just drag and drop again. That's simple. But if it's like something more complicated, it's something like really cool, I guess. Save some time.
Yeah, I think what in general that we would like just to let people know is that we are really open and we would love some feedback. And if you're sort of missing a feature or something that you would like to see us implement, it's we're just dying to hear that.
Yeah, if it makes sense, so right? Awesome. It's super cool to have that there.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So we're not going to do our integration with a specific warehouse or a payment provider specifically, but in Crystallize. We might do it as a plugin, but we're not doing it in Crystallize. But anything that can sort of ease the developer experience or performance or anything really. We would love to do that. Yeah, exactly. And that's where we would love to see people in our Crystallize community chat Slack channel. Just chat out, let us know, hey, this would be cool to get.
That's be cool. Right on it. Yeah, I mean, that, like you said, we're dying to hear this stuff. So we're all ears. Awesome.
I think we pretty much covered the details of it. I think there's really. I think so. Unless we have specific questions, but.
I haven't seen anything here related, so I think we're good. Okay, before closing, I want to mention that, of course, we'll keep doing this event, right? Håkon and me, and people will be joining in the future as well. Like previous time, we had Marcel. So more topics, more people interested in joining and giving their opinion on stuff. So it'll be really cool. So for next topic, I think we'll be doing something that we have been working on quite a lot. And it's multilingual, right? So for the next event, we'll be doing that. And in general, we started that. This event is the first one that we applied that role, but we'll be in general be posting our events in the Crystallize homepage for people to join. It will be listed in the event section. So whoever wants to join or wants to keep updated, he can go to the Crystallize homepage, see what event is going to be is listed as next one, and join us there.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the multilingual demo, though. It would be, it's such an awesome feature.
Yeah, it's nice, and it's pretty much I've been testing internally, of course, but it's going to be a feature that we release and we showcase, let's say pretty soon. Let's say that webhook is out for quite some time, right? We'll be using it ourselves, so quite a lot. So yeah, it will be really cool. That's it, I think, for today, right? So Håkon, it was really nice talking to you. You know that. Looking, yep, exactly. I hope you liked my new awesome background.
Looking forward to the next one.
I think I'll take a picture and then have a green board behind me and just Photoshop it there. I don't know. I'll ask someone's help for that, but eventually we can do that. So thanks everyone for joining. It was really nice having you here. And like we said, you can keep track of the events that will be rolling out in the future, and join us there as well. So thanks everyone.